I'm surprised you haven't asked me if I was willing to turn you.
I already like women.
She bit her lip, but I had a feeling she was trying not to laugh.
I meant into a vampire. But that is good to hear.
What? Why would you interpret it that way? Mouth swearing, slight depictions of blood. Oh. Okay. Warning. In case you don't like that stuff. Oh. This music though. Nice. Okay, now I actually don't like vampire stuff for the most part. Like the only vampire thing I could stand to watch was originals. And that's it. But I'm still playing this game. Cause I just thought it would be entertaining to do so. So I guess let's start. The brightness of the computer screen was killing me. The adjustment wheel was sticky, so I didn't dare touch it. Okay. I resisted the urge to check the clock. I did not want to see how late it was getting. I had a stack of horror movies waiting for me at home, and my solo, totally not sad Halloween marathon was looking like it might be ruined. I had intended to sit on the couch, eat takeout, and watch blood and mayhem play out for my enjoyment on the screen. Instead, I was sitting at the desk going over forms for my way too successful blood drive. Creepy. Real blood was just not as fun as fake blood. Okay. I sighed. The night has gone quiet. All the nearby shops were closed and everyone was out at Halloween parties or trick-or-treating with their families.
Of course I can stay late. It's not like I have anyone at home waiting for me.
Dang. I sighed again. There was a small tapping on the window behind me. I turned around expecting to see an errant tree branch or bush. However, it was a woman instead. I almost fell out of the chair trying to turn around to face her. She stood there, tapping gently, looking at me through the glass.
Trick or treat.
The window tapper lady. She said it slowly, enjoying every syllable. Her chest heaved as she breathed. She wore a tight corset with a pink leopard print and had long flowing blonde hair. Great, a drunk.
Ma'am, we are closed. Come back tomorrow. Sober?
I said the last part quietly. She grinned at me.
My darling, I assure you I am very sober. I'd love to get a drink. With you, though.
I felt the blood rush to my face. I had never been hit on so directly by a woman, and now there was one standing outside the window just doing that. Had I died of boredom? I mean, ain't that the point, is to go on a date with vampire ladies? So yes, let's go get a drink.
Well, maybe when I'm not at work.
I mean, what if she meant that she wanted to drink me? Oh, you know what? This was not the weirdest way I had ever been axed out, so.
Please, dear one, let me come in.
Oh gosh. Oh, I couldn't do that. We were closed. I started to explain, but there was a loud knocking at our front entrance. Damn it, now what?
Excuse me. I guess.
Oh, snap. Look at that. Oh, wow. Wow. Oh, okay. Let me stop. I walked away from the woman at the window and walked towards the front. It was Halloween. Why did I think I would have a normal night at work, closed or not? The front of our clinic was all glass, so I could easily make out yet another woman. Then she knocked on the door until she saw me and then stopped. She pushed her glasses up on her nose, then gave a harsh wave. She wore a baggy sports jersey over a pair of washed out overalls.
Greetings.
Dang, okay. For fuck's sake.
I'm sorry. We're closed.
I see that. However, if I could just come in for a moment.
Dang, what they want to come in? What is so special about me? Like, what? What? Why? I rub my cheeks. Why me? I should be bloated from salty food and laughing at ridiculous jump scares right now, not trying to explain our hours to strange yet attractive women.
I'm sorry. We're closed.
Obviously, they do not care. Door knocker lady seemed to see something because she looked away, then scowled.
You're late, Carmilla.
Late for what? What y'all plan on doing here? Does it do? The woman from before walked around to stand beside her. I guess her name was Carmilla.
I am not. I was trying to get in through the back.
There isn't a door back there.
No, but there is a window.
She purred the words while looking at me, then turned back to the other woman.
I saw her first, Elizabeth.
Oh. So the other woman was named Elizabeth, and they seemed to know each other. I glanced back at the computer. I still had so much work to do.
That kind of nonsense is not why we're here.
Then why are you here? What are you here for? She looked me over slowly and then continued.
I think.
Oh, okay.
So, like I, said, we're closed.
They both turned their attention to me, causing a sensation similar to ice sliding down my spine at their sudden attention. I cleared my throat and tried again.
You can come tomorrow morning if you'd like to donate some blood.
Oh no, they won't take some.
My love, we're not here to give blood. We're here to take it.
Excuse me?
Elizabeth sighed and pushed her glasses up the bridge of her nose. It seemed to be a habit she did often. At least, this was the second time I had witnessed it.
Take is such a strong word. You see, we have an agreement with Claudia. Is she here?
Oh, wow. Alright then. I stood up a bit straighter, suddenly understanding what the late night visit was about. Are you sure you understand? You know the vampires?
She doesn't work here anymore. She got fired because
She was giving out blood? I guess that solved the mystery of why she kept sneaking in here after we closed. Blood had gone missing, but so had some medications and money.
You should both leave before I call my boss.
I crossed my arms, grateful that the door was locked. It made it easier to stand tall and act braver than I really was. Carmilla frowned and placed her palm on the glass.
You wound me.
This is unfortunate.
She muttered something under her breath, but I didn't catch it. Carmilla seemed to have heard it, but didn't react.
I'm not letting you guys in so you can rob the place. So, shoot.
Rob is I guess technically that's robbing, but rob is a strange word to use, isn't it? They said they want to take blood. What do you think they're going to do with that blood? Huh, Mina? I waved my arms at them the same way I would get that over... Wait, what? Okay, I waved my arms at them the same way I would get that overconfident raccoon off of my porch. It might work.
Rob the place?
I suspected Claudia was up to something. A shame.
No, I can't believe it. Sweet, innocent Claudia?
I had not known Claudia well, but those were not words I would have used to describe her. She was an old woman with a sour face, though not nearly as mean as she looked. For the most part, she kept to herself. Would have suspected she was robbing a place blind.
Shoo. Go on.
I half-heartedly waved at them again, Maybe it will work the second time?
We are not stray cats, Miss.
Carmilla smiled sweetly at me.
Her name is Mina.
Girl, what?
How did you know that?
Elizabeth peered closer at me, then pointed at my chest. Oh. I looked down, name tag.
Miss Mina, we're merely asking for 1 bag of blood each. Only once a month?
You're telling me the other missing things were not because of you two?
Do I look like I need money?
Carmilla scoffed and pushed her hair off her shoulder in a haughty movement.
We were unaware she was taking more than the 2 bags.
What did you want with the blood anyway?
Elizabeth's eyes widened as she shot a look at Carmilla.
Don't.
We're vampires, darling.
Well, I mean, it's just like, how else do you explain why you want some blood? That's like the... like, I don't know. She opened her mouth a bit, and sure enough, she had 2 extended canines.
Ha ha. Very funny. It's Halloween. I'm pretty sure I have a pair of plastic fangs like that in my drawer.
Ooh, kinky.
She winked at me. Elizabeth let out a long, tired sigh.
I told you, no one will ever believe you if you just blurt it out like that.
Carmilla shrugged. Elizabeth turned to face me and gave me a small smile. I suppose it was meant to look reassuring.
She is right, though. We're both vampires.
She opened her mouth and showed off her own matching set of fangs. I nodded.
Is this a prank? Like, get a bag of blood and you're in? Or...
They looked too old to be in the sorority. I studied their faces for a moment.
For the sake of getting this over with, let's pretend I believe you. You're both vampires.
Mm-hmm.
Why should I just hand over some blood bags?
Carmilla smiled and leaned forward. Eyes half lidded? Oh, half lidded and with a wide smile.
What if I say, please?
She purred, sliding her finger gently against the glass that separated us.
How about a deal? You give us this one-time supply, and afterwards, we'll find another supplier. The thing is, we need some tonight. We don't have time to find another ethical source.
So?
If we don't get the blood here, we'll have to get it another way.
Carmilla sighed.
Ugh, she means we'll have to find a drunk human, lure them into a dreadful alley, and drink our monthly fill from them.
It's so unsanitary to drink a stranger's blood.
Elizabeth tissed and shook her head.
It also isn't great for the humans. Is that what you'd have us resort to?
Are you threatening me? Are you saying if I don't give you some blood, you'll go out and kill some unsuspecting partiers?
She didn't say she would kill
How
them.
ridiculous! We never killed them. At least on purpose.
I looked at them. They were both very pretty, but were they really immortal creatures of the night? Am I supposed to just hand over some blood bags because of this bullshit?
Okay, prove it. Prove that you're vampires. I need to know for sure.
How do you expect them to do that?
You can't be
Show off their
serious.
vampire powers? Like, what do you expect to happen?
Prove it?
Prove to me that you're both vampires. Somehow. Fangs don't count.
Elizabeth rolled her eyes. I crossed my arms and used my most stern expression. Carmilla frowned.
What? Like a dancing monkey at a carnival? How vulgar!
Fine. Open the door.
What? No way.
How do you expect them to, like, what do you expect them to do?
You want proof or not? We can't come in unless we're invited. You could always come out here if you prefer.
Oh, yes. Come out here with us.
I didn't love the idea of opening the door, but if they were vampires, they wouldn't be able to get in, and if they weren't, well, they didn't look that dangerous. Open the door. I decided to open the door, but would stay inside where I felt safer. With only a bit of hesitation, I opened the door, stepping back, but ready to slam the door closed in case if they tried anything. They just stood there and didn't dash in like I had feared.
Okay. Now what?
Elizabeth smirked, grabbed hold of Carmilla, who looked confused and very upset.
Don't you dare, you vile!
Elizabeth lifted Carmilla off the ground as if she weighed nothing and threw her towards the doorway. I expected her to sail through, but she didn't. I gasped in horror. It was almost like a cartoon. Carmilla landed hard against the opening instead of sailing through it like she should have done. It was like there was an invisible wall there. She slid down and landed on the pavement with an annoyed grunt.
Now do you believe us?
Carmilla stood up, but seemed unshaken and uninjured. She glared at Elizabeth.
I'll get you back for that.
I guess I had no choice but to believe them.
Okay, I believe you both. About the vampire thing. That
I shook my head.
is wild.
Yes. Now, can we discuss the blood? Please?
Right, if they were vampires, they needed blood. However, it would be risky. Our inventories were watched much closer after Claudia was caught stealing, though I was here alone and currently working on the inventory files. I could possibly mark 2 bags as contaminated for disposal, and they might not check the numbers too closely as long as it didn't become a regular thing.
Give me a minute to figure this out, okay? Just let me see if I can fudge the numbers or not.
Carmilla hummed a little while Elizabeth adjusted her glasses again. I didn't want to leave them waiting too long. I went back to my computer and scanned the spreadsheet of donations I had been in the middle of processing before they came. Hell, there was still so much left to do. There was no way I would be able to finish it all tonight, even without any distractions. Right, time to commit a human error. I marked the next 2 entries as contaminated. Now to actually locate the bags. I stood up and walked briskly back towards the front. Carmilla and Elizabeth were still there, so I gave them a quick thumbs up. They only blinked in response. I smiled awkwardly. I tried not to notice Carmilla's cleavage and Elizabeth's posture. What was it about someone's posture that could be so high? Fuck, they were staring now. I turned away and headed towards the walk-in refrigerator. My mind was going to bad places. I had been single for too long. My lab coat was so thin that it didn't do much against the coldness of the room. At least I knew what I was looking for. Aha, found them. I went back to the front to show them.
I was able to get you 2 bags of blood.
Excellent!
That is fantastic, Miss Mina.
I handed over the blood to them, both of whom took 1 bag each with a smile. I looked back towards where my desk was. I really should get back to work, even if I was tempted to linger.
Well, it's been fun. See ya.
Talk so slow. Vampires. Wow. If I had the chance to get to know one of them a bit better. I did say I might go have have drinks with her, so let's choose her. Camilla cleared her throat.
Sweet human, don't be so hasty.
About what? I paused.
The night is still very young. Why don't we get that drink?
It was really too late to be here by myself. What could it hurt? She was a vampire? I had questions. I watched her twirl her finger around the strand of her soft-looking hair and then gently bite her lower lip. Totally innocent question.
Okay. Let me close up.
I turned away and hoped I didn't look like a total dope. Calm your gay ass down, Mina. We took a cab to a bar I swear I had walked past several times. I'd never gone inside before though. There were plenty of rumors that it was a gay bar. Carmilla confidently walked inside and seemed to know everyone. I couldn't help but wonder.
Is this a vampire bar?
I whispered as soon as we sat down. I couldn't believe such a crowded place had an empty booth. Carmilla seemed to know that it was here because she had led us straight to it.
Oh, bloodlust? This is my bar.
Oh, okay.
Like, you come here all the time?
No, little Mina. I own it. Bloodlust is mine.
She leaned back in the booth and smiled at me.
Wow. So, everybody here is a vampire?
She laughed.
No, of course not. Some are, sure.
Is it really okay for me to know that you're a vampire?
I glanced around the bar. Would some super secret vampire cabal appear and convince her she either needed to change or kill me? That's the kind of thing that would happen in movies, at least.
Sure it is. You're such a doll. You have so many questions, don't you?
Yes. Yes, I do.
She nodded, looking amused. I also have to just pause right now and just say I really appreciate that I don't have to read this right now. Because, like, I plan on recording a baby later today. You know, that's a lot of reading, and my throat will start hurting after like an hour.
Okay then. Fire away.
Can you go out during the day? Is sunlight lethal?
Sunlight is bad. Yes. I always preferred moonlight. Don't you?
Yes.
Sure. What about crosses and garlic?
I can't really eat food like you do, if that's what you mean.
It doesn't ward you off?
No. And crosses do not bother me.
She smiled slowly.
Nuns can be a lot of fun.
Okay. She spoke distantly, and I thought it might be best to change the subject.
Do you sleep in a coffin?
Really, girl? Come on now. Camilla laughed harder than she had so far.
Oh, could you imagine? One of those tiny boxes? Gross. I sleep in a very large and quite comfortable king-sized canopy bed.
She paused, the amusement fading from her face and a very different emotion replacing it.
Would you like to see it?
I shuddered and hoped like hell she didn't notice. I glanced away towards the bar.
Maybe. I should go get us drinks,
I don't drink, but let me get you something. It's free for me, of course. What will you have?
I would love a drink, something to keep my hands busy at the very least. I was so nervous. I knew he was gonna ask me. I don't know nothing. I don't know anything about alcohol. This is just so cool. Whatever, and whatever.
Can't go wrong with a classic.
I don't know what the F that is.
I like the taste of the fruit after it sits in the bourbon.
One drink coming right up.
She left the booth and headed towards the bar. The crowd parted for her without any effort on her part. I used her absence as a chance to take a breath and get my thoughts in order. I was on a date with a vampire. It was a date, right? Yes, it was totally a date, right? Right. When she got back, I needed to act like I wasn't a total loser. How does a human even try to impress a vampire? You don't. I don't know.
Here you go.
She handed me my old-fashioned and then sat back down. She moved closer to me, easier in the circular booth.
Thank you.
I sipped at it and watched her over the rim of the glass. It was a good old-fashioned, I think. I couldn't properly taste it when I was looking at Carmilla. She looked so comfortable and confident. She smiled at me. She smiled so easily, but so sophisticatedly.
Humans are so cute.
Thanks.
I'll just try to get to know her.
Have you been a vampire very long?
She thought about it for a moment, gazing up at the ceiling.
A good while. I was turned back in the 30s.
Oh,
The 1830s?
1830s.
Darling, no.
Girl.
1930s.
Is someone saying
I
the
just
30s?
moved out to California after watching.
If someone said the 30s, why would you assume 1830s? If someone just refers to the last two numbers of a year, they're talking about the 1900s, honey. She smiled faintly. I listened intently.
I think it was Frankenstein, actually. I wanted to be an actress.
Really? Did you ever star in anything?
No, I only ever got a few parts as an extra. Not even a speaking line.
Do you ever want to go back?
There was a sad, nostalgic tone to her voice that had made me pause. Perhaps a dream that was never realized.
No, I was turned. Then after 10 years or so, I had to move.
Because you stopped aging, and it would look suspicious?
Sure, but I was going to say things got boring. I like to move every decade or so.
Curiosity was getting the best of me. I moved a bit closer and lowered my voice.
Are you allowed to tell me about how you turn into a vampire?
She nodded and moved even closer. Now we were touching. Her thigh against mine. Our arms brushed against each other. Camilla pushed my hair behind my ear, and I could feel the lightest tickle of her lips as she whispered,
No.
She pulled back to laugh at my shocked expression.
I'm kidding, dear one. It happened in Hollywood. I knew someone who knew someone, and then I ended up at a party. One thing led to another.
She shrugged.
Now I've got fangs.
Wow. Just like that?
I thought about all of the movies I had ever seen that featured vampires. They were either manipulative monsters or brooding and self-hating.
Do you ever regret it?
No.
She put her arm around me and pulled me close, causing my vampire-related thoughts to stall.
Enough about me, darling. Let's talk about you.
Me?
My voice cracked.
Tell me about yourself.
There isn't a lot to tell.
Don't make me beg.
She grinned. It was hard to concentrate when she was this close. She smelled like strawberries. I cleared my throat and told her about why not your passion for horror. That probably is more interesting.
I love horror. All horror.
Really? How interesting.
I love all the old Universal monsters. Also, there was a real boom in horror in the past decade, and I really think the genre deserves more respect. There are so many subgenres too, like Alien would be cosmic horror, and the Halloween movies would be slasher. Who doesn't love a good ghost movie too? I just watched The Shining a bit ago. It was really good, but I heard the director was a total asshole. That one was sorta based on a novel, but it wasn't very similar. Horror novels are good too. Have you ever read Stephen King? He's the one who wrote The Shining. I try to read other authors too.
Let's stop myself.
I'm sorry. I'm rambling.
Girl, she actually thought you were yourself. She didn't look bothered, and her eyes hadn't glazed over like I had seen so often before.
I enjoy horror. Though I prefer romance.
She reached over and picked something off of my shirt.
I think I enjoy listening to you talk about horror more than I enjoy anything else.
Girl, you just met me. Girl, what?
So,
My voice cracked. She was just so close it made me nervous. But like, a good nervous?
what cool vampire powers do you have?
Well, I can see very recent memories, I heal fast, and I'm pretty strong and quick.
She seemed to think it over. She tapped her chin thoughtfully.
I don't age, which is fabulous.
I nodded. Other than the memory thing, it was all typical vampire stuff.
Can you fly?
She laughed.
No, but oh, wouldn't that be wicked?
She placed a hand on my knee and I forgot what I was going to say.
Yeah.
That was all I could manage. I took another sip of my drink. What else do you talk about on a date? It had been so long since I've been on one, and I was never very good at them.
I'm surprised you haven't asked me if I was willing to turn you.
I already like women.
She bit her lip, but I had a feeling she was trying not to laugh.
I meant into a vampire, but that is good to hear.
What? Why would you interpret it that way? She is so weird. I felt her hand slide up my thigh as her fingers drummed a small tune.
Vampire? I didn't really think of it.
Would you like me to tell you exactly how it's done?
She moved her hand higher. What were we talking about? I couldn't focus on anything with the way she was looking at me and touching me. I glanced down her lips, painted with dark red lipstick. I could see the glint of the white fangs.
Well,
She was asking me a question. Shit, I nodded, not trusting myself to speak. She grinned and leaned in close to whisper against my ear. I shuddered at the sensation of her breath against my skin.
first, I would soften the skin with my tongue.
Oh, okay. She licked the tip of my ear and I practically jumped out of my seat. I almost spilled my drink everywhere.
Sorry.
I like to be direct.
Yeah.
I like you, Mina.
I like you too.
She reached over and pulled me close to her again. One hand on my hip and the other began to rub circles on the back of my neck.
So then, you wouldn't mind terribly if I kissed you?
I glanced around the room, but no one was really looking at us. If they were, did it matter? This was a bar, not church or something. And I, yes, I would very much like kissing now. She leaned forward without another word and pressed her lips against mine. I felt my eyelids flutter closed. I was like, please let the beast. Oh, okay, wait, what? I could hear the throbbing music in the bar, some grudgy rock song I didn't know. Camilla tasted sharp like copper. There was also the hint of something quite sweet. Her hair was soft as I imagined. I felt surrounded by strawberry fields. It must be her shampoo. She pulled away and giggled, moving to kiss the side of my face and drifting to my throat.
Are you going to bite me?
Not without consent. X days.
Do you want me to?
I felt the tips of her fangs brush gently against my skin. I see and please don't bite her. Despite a small voice telling me being bitten was probably not a good idea, I couldn't help but think, yes, I wanted her to bite me. Please don't. I wanted her to bite me badly. Her breath was hot despite the otherwise coolness of her skin and mouth.
Yes.
Girl! Please, please. There was a sharp. What I tell you, I don't like vampire stuff. I don't like it. There was a sharp scrape of her face against my skin, and then a quick prick. It only hurt for a moment. Afterwards, I felt a slow, heavy warmth come over me. It lasted only briefly before she pulled away to smile at me. Just a touch of blood at the corner of her lips. Ugh! I laughed, feeling a bit drunk.
You taste amazing. I was afraid I'd take too much.
Yep. She winked at me. I had a feeling she was just trying to flatter me. I nodded. The skin was a bit sore where she had bitten me. I touched the area gingerly, but it wasn't actively bleeding. Just a small drip on my just a small drip. The giddy drunk feeling was fading. I know I hadn't had that much yet, but my glass was more than half full.
Why did I feel a bit lightheaded?
She shrugged.
I don't know. Humans tend to feel that way when we feed on them.
I smirked. She did not look like she cared about any type of scientific explanation, but I couldn't help but be curious. Why did I do this to myself? Because I'm low-key freaking out right now. Why did I do this to myself? That was for another night, though. She was moving in to kiss me again, so I had better things to occupy my mind. Oh, please, not with the blood still. Oh my gosh, we had a wonderful evening. It started to get late and I had to go to work in the morning. Even though I knew I would be exhausted, I hesitantly said my goodbyes. I would have stayed longer if I didn't feel almost ready to fall asleep. I wonder if I would see her again. Was that the end? 1 year later? What? I sat at the computer and pretended to work. I had only been waiting for the sun to go down. And then it did. And then when it did, I waited a bit longer. Then a bit longer. I was running out of things to pretend to do. No matter how long I waited, she didn't show up. Not Camilla, not even Elizabeth. I thought for sure they'd maybe come around again on Halloween night, but I suppose they had really found an alternative source. It had been what I wanted, right? Though after that night with Carmilla, the night had gone wonderfully, but afterwards we didn't exchange numbers or anything. I kept hoping she'd stop by, but she never did. I sighed and shut down the computer. The window was empty. No one tapping seductively on at the glass. I hung up my lab coat and walked out towards the front. The doorway was also empty. No one knocking with purpose at this late hour. I knew I could go to Bloodlust and see if Carmilla was around, but that just felt so desperate. If she had wanted to see me, she would have. I sighed. It was fine. There are plenty of other women out there, and one day I would find the right one. She probably wouldn't be a vampire. I dug into my pocket and pulled out a ticket for my midnight showing for Bride of Chucky. Nothing would cheer me up faster than a good horror movie, and the trailer had made it look like a fun time. I even marathoned the previous Chucky movies to prepare. I smiled a little to myself and tucked the ticket back into my pocket. There was no reason to wait around here anymore. I locked up and left. Okay. Oh. Let me turn this up. Ignore that. Like, I guess things could have went differently if I chose different things, but that was cool. But yeah, you enjoyed it, you know, leave a like, whatever. And if you wanted to see more things, I will not be playing this again. I won't. So just go download the game yourself and play it. See ya.